All right, this is Dylan Berry. I'm up here with my man, Scotty Page, the man, the legend from Pink Floyd. What up, Scotty?
Yo, 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 yo. Happy to be here. Always happy to be here to hang. And boy, we got some great guests today. My brother, Ed Mills, we'll talk about him in a minute and what they're doing and all these guys. So I'm ready to rock, my brother. This will be fun. We're going to learn something today.
We got the Mills brothers, not the other Mills brothers you're thinking,
right,
but Chris Mills and Ed
ones, right,
Mills on the show from NFTY, and we're going to get into that. This is the NFT blockchain crypto metaverse for the music industry podcast, of which we're going to find a better name. Yes. But for now, this is it. My name is Dylan Berry, and Scotty Page is my co-host. And so without further ado, let's bring on our guests and start talking about NFTs and all of the amazing things that are going on in the biz. I got Chris Mills. Chris Mills, the CEO of NFTY, that is NFTY. He's a multi-award winning IT entrepreneur with 20 years plus experience dedicated to high-performing teams. I got Ed Mills, who is the CMO of NFTY, and he's a Hollywood talent manager and game designer with 7 Webby Awards. Let's bring the fellers on here and let's get into it. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
So good to be here. So good to see you, Scotty. It's always a pleasure. Buddy.
Yeah, we got to hang a bit.
Thanks for the invite.
We got to hang a bit at the, it was at that time, it was called NFTY Agenda, which is now called NFT Carnival. But we hung out together in Vegas, and that was actually a fun event.
You guys were at Mike Tyson's house.
Mike Tyson house.
Yeah. I was gonna make some Wolfpack jokes, but I decided to leave those out.
We'll save them for later, Dylan.
Yes,
absolutely. Chris, how you doing, buddy? You're out in Nashville right now?
Yeah, I'm out in Nashville and just running this amazing team of ours at NFTY. We've got a very diverse group of people, and we're building out something pretty fantastic that we're excited to talk about today.
All right. So as I understand it, NFTY provides a validation layer for NFTs, and you have a community of advocates that basically help with that validation. Buyers can find trusted collectibles, sellers can build good reputations. And so you're basically able to make it more safe to deal NFTs when you're involved. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's very well said. I think a lot of us, anybody that's messed with NFTs knows there's a lot of fraud going on. And that's very typical of, new industries. People figure out, 1, how do we use it? And then 2, how do we manipulate it? And so we're trying to help with that. And so the validation layer that we are creating is actually done through people. It's like a crowdsource type. We've kind of been calling it like a Yelp review system that allows people to review NFTs that are going to be listed for sale. So this is like a pre-sale stage. And then they go and look at the NFTs and they'll back them through advocating with them. And to do that, they get part of the proceeds. So 7.5% of the final sales actually gets distributed to the people that advocate.
Wow, that's that's crazy. So it's a crowdsource model, right? So you're basically using the people's army to go in, look at the blockchain, look at the stuff, look at the NFTs to validate that they're actually really NFTs. That's a great service. I can't believe it. I hadn't heard about it like that's my first time here. I think I would know by now, but I
think the difference, Scotty, is I was trying to teach you how it worked. And Chris said, Ed, you can't tell people how this thing works. You just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, so, I get it now. I get it now. Fantastic.
So I love the crowdsource aspect. I've been in I guess you could call it the crowdsource industry with SmashHaus for many years, because I built technology that could harness creators all over the world and put them into television in a very efficient way, film and television licensing. We've pivoted lately, but I think what's interesting about Web3 and NFTs is everything is crowd focused. Right? Everything is community. Everything can be on the blockchain transparent. But like you said, that sounds wonderful fundamentally. But what if somebody hacks that system? What if somebody cheats? So how do you solve the issue with your tool of making it more safe for people to buy NFTs?
Yeah, so I think it's all about having more eyes on it, right? Having more diverse people. So when we think about DeFi or we think about decentralization, we think about expanding that community across not necessarily people but across different, geographic locations. And so the more people from different places that are looking at the NFTs and advocating for them is increasing the likelihood of their, them being a valid NFT. Now, of course, it's impossible to know for sure, right? At the end of the day, if every 99% of the consensus believes that something's true that's not, we can't fix that problem. But it takes a big stab at just the difference between just a buyer and a seller, right? So on eBay, go ahead.
Oh no! So finish the eBay statement because
so on eBay, you got these people that's selling something, and you go in as a buyer and you buy it. And eBay's done a lot of stuff to like validate those people and done user reviews, and they've added all of this technology to try to help that. With NFTs, we don't really have that, right? It's somebody you don't know who they are; they're completely anonymous. They're selling it, and so we've just kind of created this layer in between those two that is creating that validation mechanic that we don't have yet.
Gotcha. So how does this work? So I'm a content creator. Do I go to you as a content creator and say, I want to cut a deal with you guys to validate my NFT to make sure everybody knows that it said, is that how that work? And then I give a percentage. And what is that business model?
Yeah, great question. So right now, the way it is we are working directly with the artists and the content creators. Okay. But our plan is to open up an entire artist portal. That's actually our next development milestone, to where you can basically come to us, put in all your information, put in your NFT, create a profile, and then that would be what our users see. And so the rev share is you get 90%, we take 10%, 7.5 of that goes to the advocators, 2.5% goes to our protocol. And then we push your content through. It's a pre-sale process, so it's before it's for sale. And then after it goes for sale, we'll push that off to like OpenSea or something.
Right. So just from the service point of view, it's much more than just the fact that you're going to put an army on it to validate it. Do you actually help market it and get it pushed out there? Because you're saying we're nifty freaking certified. We have a community of people that are coming through us to basically, because we know your stuff's going to be good. Is that the idea? So you help actually market these?
Yeah, for sure. We see a couple things like that validation stamp, like you're talking to that. Actually, when the web came out, that was like, there was like a lot of those services that came out. I'm forgetting their name, but like like some sort of this website secure or whatever. So kind of giving you that stamp of approval that it went through our process. We think that'll be helpful. And then these warriors that you how you called them, they're incentivized financially for this to sell, right? So they're going to tell their friends, their family, they're going to post on their social media. And so you're getting this whole marketing arm that you wouldn't get if you just go by yourself.
Got it. Interesting. Now, when the people get paid, is this where they get actually, when you mint, so do you go through the minting process? Do you do the minting and everything? So at that point, so how do the people get paid? In other words, is that, because obviously the contract's going to go out, but before it's going to happen, they're not going to get paid through the contract. Do you pay them on a monthly basis, or what is that model?
So there's a whole kind of a earning section in our DApp, in our Web3 app. And so it'll keep up with all the money you've earned. You do a withdrawal request, and we have like a minimum threshold. So let's say, I don't know what it is, but let's say you had to have at least 0.01 ETH that you've earned. Once you've got that, you withdraw, and then we send it directly to your wallet.
Got it. Interesting. What a great business model. I mean, this is really good.
These are good questions, Scotty. You got it down. I feel like you get it. Being in the industry as a creator, right? So we're trying to support those creators that can go on OpenSea and not be seen. And also this whole fraud of buying and selling. There won't be any fraud on our end because people have to give up 10% if they want to pretend to sell something for $1 million. So for us, it's just a very extra secure layer.
No, it's great.
What I think is smart about this is I'm seeing a couple things in the business model that are inherently additional value for you guys, right? I mean, you could potentially all that money in escrow, you could stake it, you could create extra revenue through that. You also inherently build your own community that's large scale, correct? So it's sort of like you've now crowdsourced a verified community as much as you've sourced the verified.
So
you got a two-sided marketplace. Yeah, no, I like it. You guys are smart.
It's a genius, because the bigger your market gets. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just said they're smart. I want to be their friends. You know what I mean?
Definitely friends. I think also we feel like there's a three-pronged approach to our Nifty token holders. One, you buy the token. We started a 10-cent fair launch. So we put all the tokens out there, all 5 million of them. So there's no rug pull. The founder's only allowed to buy a small amount in the beginning. So everything's out there. So we went from 10 to 60. It goes up and down, Ethereum's down now. So that's doing good. And then you stake. So that gives you 15% while you're staking. And then number 3, you can advocate. So we feel like it's a 3-prong approach for people just like to just dabble in the market, and chances of 3 ways to make money.
So you're giving 15% on a stake. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's based on your level, because we want you to have status. So the longer you stake, the better your status. So you go from patron to diamond to platinum, right? So we will have, some very special thing, maybe with Scotty, and only platinum people can bid on it because it's a very special piece.
Scotty's got enough freaking platinums. Let's, you know what I mean? We don't need any more platinums.
I want these platinum NFTs though. That's what I'm working on now.
I know.
Scott, because we do serve people that are just learning about this, and by just learning, I mean just learning more than we just learned. Can you explain what staking is, Scotty?
Oh, why don't you add? Why don't you go? You were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, you can do it. I mean, I'm not allowed to talk anything technical.
So staking is the mechanic to where you take some of your tokens that you have. So let's just say you have 1,000 Nifty tokens, and you send those 1,000 Nifty tokens to a smart contract. And so what you're doing as a user is you're locking up those 1,000 tokens. And so we provide a reward for that, some sort of yield, like Ed said, maybe 15. It starts out at 13.5% actually. And so we provide you a reward for staking. So the benefit for us is they're less liquid. If you want to sell them, you need to unstake them, which we're fine with. We have no penalties to unstake or anything. But when they're staked, it gives us the ability to know that user with that wallet address has locked up those tokens, and that's how they're able to advocate in our platform. Like I said, they can unstake at any time.
Yeah. So supply. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scotty. I was
just going to say the supply then is held up, which helps drive it too, right?
Yeah. So supply lock is really important for us because it reduces volatility in the market. If all of your supply is liquid, then people are buying and selling all the time. So the more supply that's locked up in a staking contract, the less volatile your market is. And with us, I think we have about 60% of our supply is actually locked in staking.
Yeah. Well, getting 15% on your money, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good place to put your savings, right?
If you think of it, just for people that are getting used to how this all works, if you think of it like the banking institutions, and you think of it, let's look at Bitcoin, hardly a banking institution, but let's look at Bitcoin. If everybody staked their Bitcoin, the price wouldn't go up or down. It would stay right there, right? Because everybody said, you can keep my money and I won't touch it for 6 months. Mm-hmm. So what that does is it lets Bitcoin know that they have 6 months to do some strategic investments or build some new tech or whatever they need to get more value in the company, so that when it's unstaked, everybody gets more money and the shareholders are happy. So it's very interesting, this DeFi thing. There's a lot you can do with it. It's very exciting space. It's also crazy because anybody who's put some money in maybe before Christmas and looks at it now, you'll see that it's gone like it's all over the freaking place. But it's fun.
You know what I like about it? We're doing right now, we have a foundation that my friend Soho out of New York, we put together. It's called Let Me Help Foundation. And what we're doing is raising money into this foundation. We can point it anywhere, but we're building it. And we just want to stake the money and take the 15, 10, 12, 14, 50%. And that's the money that basically generates the money that we give out to the different places that we're supporting. I love this DeFi stuff. Now, what do you think about regulations? So it's going to have to get pretty interesting here in that space, right?
Yeah, we follow the regulations pretty closely. Our law firm is a security law firm, so we are constantly talking to them. The SEC is constantly coming out with new things. So there's really 2 big pillars to that. There's the IRS side, like what do you do about taxation? And then there's the SEC side, what do you do about the security? I will say everything I've read and seen, they seem to want to communicate and work, and not just, I know there's a lot of politics and polarization around this stuff, but when you actually look at the SEC and what they're saying, reach out to us, tell us what you're doing, tell us how we can make it work. Because as developers, we just want to build all this stuff, right? We're so excited. We don't care. We just want to build all this stuff. But then as from the end users, you got the people that are getting fraud and screwed over and stolen their money. So it's a very tough spot.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's interesting is when you look at what's happening, I mean, if I equate, NFTs for me personally, my belief is it's freedom. It's like freedom like we've never seen before. And I can build a case that I could say, yeah, I can have a Bitcoin, but now I can have something that has utility, could actually be worth a lot more than my Bitcoin, right? So It's interesting. NFTs become this sort of form of currency. And what I mean by freedom is it's wallet to wallet, bypassing the entire system. I have a complete control of my content, my finances. And I think NFTs personally, based on just on the concept, when I grasped it, is the biggest thing to happen because everything's going to get NFT. Everything. I mean, every clothing store, health food store, freaking everything is going to be NFT. We're going to walk around. We're just going to be interacting with these things all day long. It's like our life is getting fully gamified. And I think that this whole NFT thing is kind of a Trojan horse to freaking cryptocurrency, right? Because it's bringing people in. You got kids that are going, yeah, it's easy for me to say, I want to understand this crazy trick that my favorite skateboard guy did off of Mount Vesuvius or whatever. And I get to own that. That's much easier than them just saying, hey, how do I buy a Bitcoin or what it is? It just seems like that safe. So I think, the whole NFT space is just blowing up, going to blow it up from behind the scenes to make this all happen. But yeah, it's a very exciting time. I mean, I can't believe it actually, to be truthful.
All right, so guys, that voice you're hearing right now is legendary Scott Page from Pink Floyd, legend. Toto, Supertramp, been doing music for a long time, and is an expert at this point on NFTs and cryptocurrency. And
as expert as you can be at this amount of time.
Yeah, we know
I'm
everything.
Sucking it in as much as I can every day, but I don't think anybody's an expert in this because it changes every week. I mean, especially when you start getting into tokenomics, because that's where I'm spending most of my time right now, is really trying to understand, the value, because NFTs are programmable, right? This is a whole nother game, right? When you could start programming these things, it's like, whoa, the opportunities are beyond.
I also wanted to mention we've got Chris Mills, who's the CEO of NFTY on the show, and Ed Mills, who's the CMO of NFTY. And we've been digging in about NFTY. If you want to check out NFTY, you can find it at nfty.com. Is that right? Or are you guys at something else? Where are you in the world?
NFTY token.app.
Okay. One more time, slowly.
NFTY token.app, app.
Awesome. So I want to bring on another guest in a second. And while we're waiting for him to jump on, I'd like for you guys to just tell us a little bit, like what is the heart behind this? Why are you passionate about doing this business besides making billions of dollars?
Yeah, I'll say it's been amazing to hear your guys' passion already behind NFTs. And I think that we echo that. When I first started hearing about what an actual NFT was as a developer and conceptualized it, I just realized this is something everybody's going to use in the next 10 years, right? It's going to be a part of your car loans and your deeds and your titles, and everything. Is every single asset that you own can be an NFT. You can trade it. You can watch the value of it, where it's transferred to. It's huge. And so from a developer, I love to solve problems. And so making NFTs have validity so that they're understood and important is what I'm passionate about. And I think that's what NFTY offers. And it offers it in the true spirit of decentralization, because we are basically crowdsourcing all of this through anybody who wants to come in and be a part of it. They can.
Yeah. For me, it's one of the most important things I've seen is the community around NFTs is extraordinary. I mean, I felt a certain amount of that back in the day when we did CD-ROM launched, because I went through that whole thing. It was like, it's such an exciting time hanging out in the garages with the cyberpunks freaking writing weird code and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Then the whole internet, when internet came on, to around 99, 2000, same excitement. But this is extraordinary because, this community aspect and how businesses are being built. It's like, I've got teams of people, everybody's working for tokens, because what's nice is once everybody's working to make it happen, they're in the smart contract and everybody gets paid at the same time. You're taking the contract. You're you're basically saying, here are the rules up front, so everybody knows what's happening.
Everybody knows.
And it happens. So it's like great, because I went out and did a bunch of IP, and I get up in the morning now. My first thing is I go look at my wallet, right, to see who's been selling stuff. Right, it keeps kind of coming in from different areas, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's unbelievable what it's doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So I want to bring on a special guest here to talk about what they're doing, because I find it very interesting. Chris Prendergast. I had to practice before I came on. Prendergast. Well, dude, Chris there. He's the founder and CEO of Jamstack. They're a software company as well as a physical products company that are paving the way into Web3. Chris, how are you, man?
I'm very well, Dylan. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream, dude. I'm in my big glass box in the back of my house, and
looks a lot nicer than my window, that's for sure.
Life's good. Life's good. And by the way, guys, Chris and Ed, we'll get you guys right back on after this. We're just do a little special segment, and we can all talk more about everything that's happening. Okay, Chris, what are you doing with your life, and what the hell is Jamstack?
So yeah, as you mentioned, we're building hardware and software. We feel the future of music creation is going to involve very different products on both of those fronts. So really quick, focus more on the software, but our hardware is these very hyper portable, very small, but super hi-fi amplifiers. And what's special about these is a lot of things, but the main thing is it's got a built-in mobile interface. So if you can take a cable, plug it directly into your phone, and with one touch, you can get high quality audio right into the digital space. So people are collaborating all the time, making music, and that music is getting reshared, in some cases monetized. But in order for that volume to really be at the same scale as, like, for example, video on TikTok, it needs to be convenient. It needs to be incredibly convenient. So once that audio gets into your phone, we are building a software app to allow people to collaborate in a bit of a different way that's ever been possible before. So we're going to distribute music. So you're actually browsing music in what would be called a session if you're a musician. So a session, you open it up, you see the drums, you see the guitar, you see the vocals, right? And you can edit those. And this is licensed music, and this is music made on the platform. So step one, you're browsing maybe, and if you're an aficionado, you'll enjoy being able to turn the drums up and down, or turn the vocals off or the guitar off. And then the next step is to record, to make something new. And then hopefully it's better. And now what's happening with music collaboration is that sample may take on a whole life of its own, and someone will just remove that and do something else with it. Now, we are hoping to support musicians that can't necessarily be a full-time musician, build the social media following that you have to, get signed, but are really, really talented and can sit at home in 2 seconds and make something special, and then benefit from that via minting it with an NFT, having that get monetized either by someone who wants to put it on their YouTube video or on their podcast or on traditional media like Spotify.
Yeah, it's genius. I mean, that's really the thing. And if you think about it, NFTs really make this work, right? That's the fundamental shift, because you could do this kind of stuff like, we're talking about, but how do I monetize it? How do I prove that it's ownership, right? So this is an incredibly beautiful model for NFTs and for people to be able to monetize it. Good job, dude.
Thank you. It's the perfect use case in my opinion.
I agree.
It's the source of truth. It's the incentivization. And when you have, like, if you're a musician and you've got an idea, what's stopping you from putting it out in the world? A lot of the times you're afraid someone's going to steal it. Well, if you've minted it, not only are you providing value, you're also securing your own IP at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one. And you know what I think is really interesting about this is that, one of the cool use cases when you look at stuff like the Ghost of Frank Black, get it right. I always screw up the name, but it was a stems gig, right? It was, let me put my stems out. We'll create derivative works. We'll create them all as NFTs. And it turned into an amazing ecosystem. I think he made $600,000 in a week. And had all this great, amazing art floating around.
Yeah.
Well, see, you know what's so great?
Imagine that was at your fingertips, everyone's fingertips. The scale would just change a lot.
And you know what the most incredible part of this is? You can empower other people to make money off of your works.
Absolutely.
Right? That's where it gets really interesting. It's like I'm saying, hey, I'm going to create something, you're going to buy it, and you have a secondary market, and there's things that you can go do with this. And depending on the rights that you give somebody, that's it. That's why I talk about Bored Apes. Everybody says, why is a Bored Ape worth so much money? Well, it's not so much because it's just a GIF, or, a freaking piece of thing, an ape on a deal. They don't realize that they're buying the actual rights to be able to create with that. I know 4 Bored Ape guys that are creating a television show with their Bored Apes right now. I know guys that are building clothing lines with their apes, right? So it's owning a piece of a brand, and it's community driven. So you got 10,000 people lifting that brand up, and you get to own a chunk of it, make money. That's the beauty of this whole model. Dude, I love what you're doing, man. I think you guys are like, I'm high-fiving you right now on Zoom.
I can't wait to get you on. I can't wait to get you on the platform. I think of it, just one comment on what you're saying. I think of it like almost like planting seeds, and like maybe, you just had fun. It doesn't go anywhere, right? But you're kind of just like putting little bits of music out there, and then they're kind of growing over time and slow. And if you've done enough of them, it's going to start to add up. And if one thing kind of hits and takes off, and we're able to get ad revenue, even we can pay you out. If we're getting ad revenue based on the music you made, we're going to pay you out directly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's what smart contracts, think about it. It takes that middleman. It's like, I never have to go. Once I'm in that contract, I get paid. Obviously there's issues if I go cross chains and stuff like that. But if we're doing it now, where are you putting your stuff out? Are you doing it like on OpenSea, or what chain are you using for your thing? Because obviously minting is a price issue that, the gas fees can be pretty stupid on Ethereum and stuff.
Yeah. So fully transparent. We're actually just ahead of our launch at the moment. So the first phase of the software is working with our licensing partner, getting music out there, getting people collaborating. And then once that's working and purring and working perfectly, the very next thing we're going to be doing is implementing NFT technology. So we're a little early in the process. But
so I gotta cut in real quick. I just want to tell people, because this is a podcast, even though we're doing a YouTube version of it. So this little amp, it's the world's smallest portable guitar amp. Basically, if you're holding a guitar, right under your elbow, the amp is strapped onto the back, area where your back strap goes into the guitar. So it looks like a little Bluetooth speaker on the back of your guitar. Yeah. And then they have these other things that, they model different guitar sounds. It's like Guitar Rig if you're a programmer, or Guitar Amp, or, and then you can play, and it records it in stems, so you can control the stems, and then you can mint all the stems. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool stuff.
I know. I saw this thing, and I said, I think it was at NAMM show. You were at NAMM a few years ago, right?
The Jamstack one was at NAMM, yes.
Yeah, and I saw that. I went and I said, dude, I got to have one of those. I want to get one of those things.
Oh wow, that's great.
I'm reaching out to you, brother.
We're gonna get you a couple, man. They're really fun and super addicting. Wait till you see.
Get Kenny Olsen up on one of those buggers.
Oh, buddy. I know, definitely.
All right. Well, check it out. I got to bring the boys back on here. Chris Mills and Ed Mills. Let's pull them back on. Chris, it's great to speak with you. Please stay on with us. Let's all kind of chat a little bit more, and then we'll wrap it up. Mills brothers, how are you guys on time? And are you actually related, or is that just a coincidence?
Pretty good. Pretty close. I'm father, son.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, so it is. It's a dude. Oh, how cool.
And he has a twin brother named Clinton Mills. So there's two sons and one dad. It's like a TV series.
Well, you did good. You minted some moguls.
I was just curious. Did you hear what Chris's thing? Did you hear about what he's doing? Pretty interesting, right?
Oh yeah.
I
was really in high five space too.
Yeah, Chris, jump back on, buddy. Are you
stay here, brother. We love this.
I figured Chris was going to play us a song with this thing.
I would love to. Okay, so
let's hear it, man. Rip it out.
Here you go. I hope that's vodka, buddy.
You had to take a big swig of something. I get to get into it.
I'll show. I'd love to show off both amps actually, and just kind of how they work. But a couple differences between the Jamstack 1 and the Jamstack 2 is with the Jamstack 1, you had to be plugged into your phone, and that phone was doing all of the guitar pedals, the effects.
Yeah.
We can, of course, do that as well here, but we've also put a built-in effects engine. So, and you can literally just cycle through. And then the cool thing about that is, let's say your camera app or any app, when you plug in directly into those apps that don't have any tools with them, you're getting that audio directly in. So that as a creator, there's no fucking around. There's no, audio bus or whatever. It's just instant, great quality audio right into your phone at the touch of a button.
Can you input a microphone too? Can you put a mic in it?
Yeah. So so it's a mixer. Good. There's a mic input at the back, 100%.
There's literally like 10,000 people performing in the subway right now who just pooped their pants because they're now recording every performance.
It is the busker's dream. You can network them together. So it's the only amp in the world with a built-in transmitter. So if you can have one on your guitar and you can have another two anywhere else, and they all network together in low latency, you can have different sounds coming out of each one. It
seems like there's a marriage a little bit between what you guys are doing, because I could imagine, let's say I'm, John Mayer, right? And you want to prove that that's John Mayer actually played on that thing using that device. It seems like you would be using Nifty to freaking like cut the deal with those guys,
verification layer.
The verification that that's actually who that is playing on that thing, right?
Guys, we're going to have to wrap it up because it's been an hour, but I've learned a lot today. It's great having you all on the show today. Of course, my co-host, Mr. Scott Page, the man, the legend. You might know him from small bands like Pink Floyd, Toto, Supertramp. And if you ever get a chance to see Scotty, the dude is an absolute assassin on the sax.
Oh gosh.
And
thank you,
he
brother.
performs in ThinkEXP, right?
No, it's ThinkX is the band with me and Steve Perkins from Jane's Addiction and Nord Fisher from Fishbone and Kenny Olds from Kid Rock's band. We have a great thing. We're actually doing shows. If you're in LA, anybody in LA, we're playing the 25th, 26th. We do this 360 Dome show. And we actually do a Think Floyd show for that. And it's actually really a lot of fun. These guys, we kill the music, and it's in this 360 experience. And then I also want to bring up for you guys, we're doing NFT. Well, we got South by Southwest coming up the 11th through the 14th. We have probably the best venue in all of Austin there. It's 3 floors. We're doing Nifty Carnival. Looks like they're coming in, and we're taking those 4 days, music, NFTs. It's going to be crazy cool. We should also, all you guys we should have a conversation about that. And then from there, we go from the 28th through the 30th. Well, actually, we added a day, NFT LA. So I'm kind of co-producing. I'm putting on all the night events. We've taken over Wisdom, the place we do these 360 things. And we have it's going to be NFTs and rock and all the crazy stuff that we're bringing. Those are coming up. So definitely would like to talk to both of you guys, because I think there's some opportunities to kind of bring what you guys are doing into what we're doing over there. Because we just want to showcase innovation and, kind of help educate the community about what this means to them, because once people realize how important this concept of NFTs are and what it does to their business and what it does to their life, it's crazy. So anyway, that's what we're working on.
Make sure you check out Scott Page on the sax and Stephen Perkins playing the drums and Nord Fisher on bass and Dylan Berry on cowbell. That's going to be coming up, and it's going to be an amazing show. I kicked the shit out of a cowbell. If anybody knows me,
I bet you do, buddy. I want more.
Absolutely do.
Yeah, people think that's easy, but it's not.
No,
because if you got bad time, and you're hitting that cowbell, I'm not happy.
Especially with Norwood playing bass, you got to like prorate a little late.
You got to be a little bit on the back end.
Yeah. You got to
settle it in. Love that back end. It's a different thing.
But no, believe me when I say I'm an absolute assassin on the cowbell. Okay, moving on. So I have Chris Mills, CEO of NFTY, Ed Mills, CMO of NFTY on here. Chris Prendergast. Sorry if I bastardized your name. It's a dope name. I just always get it wrong. Good guitarist right there, slanging on that guitar on Jamstack 2. You can find Jamstack 2 where, Chris?
Jamstack.io.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then go ahead and tell me one more time, Chris, where they can find your Nifty.
It's NFTY token.app.
Awesome. And I am Scott Page. You can find Scotty
Everything.
anywhere.
Just I am Scott Page.
I'm Dylan
I am
Berry
Scott
Official. That's DYLANBERRY Official. And this is our show. I hope you all had a great time. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, Dylan, I
Thanks
want to
for
say
very much.
thanks for inviting us. You and
And
Scott.
Chris, I'm
we
hitting you up.
appreciate
I
it.
want to get one of those things, man. I'm hitting you
Love
back
it.
because I'm dying for one of those.
Please do. Please
Okay.
do.